times, with Trump edging the head-to-head 8-7. Their last meeting came in the 2016 Masters, also at the quarter-final stage. In the commentary box, Clive Everton is joined by Joe Perry for the first few frames of this best-of-11 match. First, though, here's John Fuller to introduce the players.
Thank you, Jill. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Venue Cymru in Llandudno. And welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Ladbrokes Players' Championship. We welcome viewers from ITV4 and around the world. This is the second quarter-final. Our referee, Colin Humphreys, awaits, so let's meet the players. Former world champion and the current Scottish Open champion, please welcome the Thunder from Down Under, Neil Robertson. And here is our second player in this quarter-final, 8 times ranking tournament winner. He is the defending champion. Please welcome the ace in the pack, Judd Trump.
Judd Trump has won here in Llandudno over course and distance. He's the defending champion and also won the 2015 World Grand Prix here.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The first frame, Judd Trump to break.
Trump scored heavily yesterday in beating Stephen Maguire 6-4, making 2 centuries. And his opponent, Neil Robertson, also made 2 centuries in his 6-2 win over Luca Brissell.
Afternoon, Clive. Afternoon, everybody. Yep, really looking forward to this one. Should be an absolute cracker. Venue looks fantastic. Always adds something special to the tournament when it goes down to one table. And these two will be absolutely relishing this match today.
Full house on a Thursday afternoon, an indication of just how popular snooker is these days.
Interesting to see how this one pans out today, whether Judd will try and compete with Neil in the tactical department. Neil's got far more patience, I think, than Judd. He's prepared to win anyway. Be interesting to see how much Judd attacks Neil today, or if he just waits for his chances.
Alan McManus mentioned at the top of the programme that Neil Robertson has lost an unusual number of deciding frame finishes this season, 7 in all. And that was obviously a factor in slipping down the ranking list and briefly out of the top 16, which caused him to miss the Masters.
Early chance for Neil. Not easy. Trademark Neil Robertson, long red. Not feeling it just yet, obviously. Didn't play for short of the baulk line there, just made sure of the red. Looks like he's just come far enough just to be able to run this green in and leave right red to right corner. So, first blood to Neil. Even though he's dropped down the rankings a little bit, you can still see there his technique's not changed in the slightest. One of the best cue actions we've got on tour. Very reliable at the long straight ones.
In the Welsh Open, in his second round match, he potted 125 balls out of 126 and lost 4-3 to Ian Burns, the world number 100. It's not very often that somebody makes 3 centuries and loses 4-3.
No, I spoke to Neil about that, and he was very complimentary with the way Ian played, but he just couldn't believe he'd lost. He's been in that sort of form for a little while. He's just not converting them into wins at the moment. I think the interesting point you made about the deciders, when Neil was world number 1, I think he went on a massive streak of winning deciding frames, and you never fancied him to lose one. I think that's just all about confidence, winning them deciders.
11.
Again, nice little nudge down on the green, just left himself a perfect angle on into the centre to come back down for these reds. At some stage, you're going to have to try and free that black. It's not a good opportunity just yet. I'm looking to get a nice angle on the blue here.
40. 15.
Maybe not quite the angle that he was looking for, but if it's just off straight, he would be all right. From a brief glimpse, though, it looks absolutely gun barrel straight.
Yeah, he's tried to punch that blue in there, stun run, just to try and create a bit of an angle, but
20.
didn't quite manage it, so that's end of break. But a nice start for Neil, got a nice feel for the table, quite a few good balls there.
Neil Robertson, 20.
It's a nice shot from Judd. I think he's covered all the reds. So important today for both these players not to hit colours on their way back, 'cause they're both tremendous long potters.
Robertson obtains the intended thin contact via 2 cushions.
Too thick a contact that time for Judd, which has meant the cue will stop before the baulk line, so hand on the table. You'll fancy this one. Yeah, so reliable, that kind of shot. Right in the middle of the pocket. That'll please him. Give him confidence. He knows he's in good form.
Six.
So just drop this in. He'll have to play on the black here if he's got intentions of winning the frame at this visit. Doesn't have to do a lot with the black. Red goes to right corner once he's potted it.
Seven. 14. 15.
Perfectly played. Nice angle on the blue. Looks very easy, that shot, but you haven't got a big window there. You know, slightly too far, and it's a horrible shot on the blue. You have to play a baulk colour, so played that nicely. Yeah, and you'll be looking now. That red to the right of the black is perfect.
20.
Anything low on this black, you can stun into the reds to guarantee that it'll be on that red to right corner.
21.
This is what the players like to do. They like to go into the reds, but they also like that insurance of always having a ball there, no matter how this pack splits. Perfectly played. Freed up 2 or 3 more reds. Framing an opportunity now for Neil.
28. Touch and ball.
Awkward bridging.
$29.
Just got to be a little bit careful here. Just make sure he leaves himself the right angle on the next red. Took a chance there, Neil. Didn't really see the need to take that sort of risk, but
36.
probably didn't think there was any way he couldn't land on one. He's right. Nice straight red to middle. Could have gone wrong, that.
$37.
Looks like he's carrying on where he left off, Clive. Not letting his opponent pot a ball. This will be 5 frames on the trot. No one's potted a ball against him.
43. 44. $51. 52.
Well, this is very impressive indeed. He's done the hard bit.
$59.
So the only remaining point of interest is
60.
whether he can make this into a century.
Yeah, and we know how much Neil loves a century. He takes great pride in his century break record. Obviously that remarkable achievement, 100 in the season. But he's just the same in practice. He doesn't let up when he's on 70 or 80. He makes every effort to make a century on every occasion.
68.
He made 103 centuries in that wonderful season of his.
Leo Robertson.
But no century that time. Even so, that was an impressive opening frame from Neil Robertson. He leads Judd Trump by a frame to 0.
Thank you. Frame 2. Leo Robertson to break.
Just a standard containing safety from Trump.
I was just looking at Neil there in between frames. He's so focused today. He looked like a waxwork sitting in his chair. He never moved once, just eyes focused on the table. I think he's really up for this today.
Had the red gone in, it would have been a fluke.
Long way to go in this match, best of 11. No need for Judd to sort of worry about anything just yet, but he'll want to get his hand on the table soon. He won't want to spend too long sitting around watching Neil play.
Well, Trump kept Stephen Maguire potless for the first 2 frames yesterday. He himself has suffered the same fate in the opening frame this afternoon. But both these players are so experienced that even if they have to wait a long time for a chance, within a couple of shots they've slipped back right into it, right into the groove again.
Neil just having a look round here. He'd like to take this difficult red on into the green pocket, but he'd just like to play it in such a way as if he does miss it, he doesn't leave anything too straightforward for Judd. Obviously screwing it back for the black makes the shot that much harder. So if he can just land somewhere near the middle pocket. A bit wide on this occasion, but yeah, he's left Judd a pot, but nothing easy. But I don't see how Judd can turn this one down. This one down the cushion into the green pocket. A bit more pressure on it though, because he probably will be leaving Neil a pot should he miss it.
As you said, Joe, not easy. Maybe in his stride it would have seemed a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's the tough side of snooker. Had he been able to play that shot like Neil did, knowing full well he wouldn't be leaving nothing, he probably would have potted it. But the fact that he knew he was leaving reds if he missed made it that much tougher. So, another nice easy starter for Neil.
1.
Not played that too well. Might be forced into playing. I don't know if he can pot the green and hold for one of these reds. If not, he might have to play an attacking shot here. One cushion into the bunch. Oh, he didn't go into him with much pace, but he might have been all right here, I think. Not sure if we can get this red to right corner. If we can, that is a big bonus.
4.
Green spot occupied, so green on the highest available, namely the pink spot.
Judging by the body language, he's not landed on this red to right corner, so could see a Robertson special coming up here if he tempts this one on the green spot. If not, he's got an awkward cue in red to left centre. I'm expecting to get this if he goes for it. Yep, once again, right in the middle.
5.
Didn't do a lot with the cue there though. Fancies his chances this skinny black. Again, he can sort of play it with the knowledge that if he misses it, the black will be covering the pocket. So once again, always makes the shot slightly easier. That's a good solid pot from Neil. Now he's back in prime position.
12. 13. 17. 18.
Yeah, it's just about held on for an angle, but not a major problem if it is straight. He's got a choice of reds to left or right corner. Yeah, he's just looking to see where if he leaves the cube or if that red on the right side cushion is going to be hampering him. Obviously feels it's not going to be too much of a hindrance, so another one of these straight reds. Neil's very, very
23.
comfortable at this sort of shot. And just look at his cue action, it's absolutely dead straight. Makes this shot so much easier.
24. 31. 32.
Nice shot, left himself a nice angle. If I just drop into this bunch here, not too hard, just miss the green on the right hand side as we look. Oh, he's hit green. Needed just to brush past the green on the right side there. He was guaranteed to be on a ball.
37.
A disaster that for Neil.
Well, with the green trapping against the red and the cue ball therefore trapping against the green, that's an unexpected end of break.
Might not be as bad as first appeared if he can just drop on this red on the back cushion. He'll be disappointed. There's a good chance there for Neil.
Neil Robertson, 37.
Judd will want to get his hand on the table as quick as he can, so it might force his hand a little bit here and take him on these tricky reds to the middle. Tough shot, but no, thought better of it.
It was a tough shot though that Robertson attempted, and that one for Trump was somewhat easier.
Yeah, it was a nice pot from Judd. It weren't the sort of opening ready he would have been looking for. He would have wanted something a little bit easier than that, but played it nicely. So nice chance just to get a feel for the table and get into this match now.
9.
Balls are not spread perfect, but there's no real big problems for Judd. So looking just to knock a few points on the board first and then worry about the more difficult ones.
16. 17.
Trump has obviously ascertained that the red nearest the green will go.
22. $23.
Really forced into playing for this red along the back cushion now. He's nice and close to it, makes it a little bit easier.
30. 31.
Yeah, he made sure the red there took a little bit off the pace, but no full well he had reds in baulk he could play on, so 2 cushions for that red near the nearest the baulk cushion.
Into the lead with that black.
38.
It's a clever shot.
39.
Clever shot from Judd there. He's pushed red over the middle, so doesn't have to worry too much about where this cue ball finishes after potting the blue. Nearly a disaster. Nice little nudge.
44.
So this is a good response from Judd as soon as he sat out the first frame and a half.
45.
Yep, thinking very clearly, getting the green back up on its spot. Make the clearance that much easier.
48.
You don't want the white having to keep going up and down the table if you can help it.
49.
The red's on the right side of the table, as we say, for Judd being a left-hander. Not quite gone far enough there, so still should get this red, but
53.
it's harder than it should have been. Can always possibly hit these a little bit thick. No, straight in.
54.
He's going to need to pull out one more good pot though. Wrong side of the blue here. So one good pot on the yellow. Should be tied up at 1 each.
59.
Didn't intend to cannon the green, and he's not over the line yet. 24 ahead, but still 25 remaining.
Judd Trump, 61.
Otherwise, a good effort at 61 from Trump, who came to the table 37 behind. You've just got to hope to be lucky with an escape like that, and Robertson hasn't been.
No, green could have gone anyway. Hit it nice and hard, just hoping a bit of luck on this occasion. Didn't get away with it. So Judd will be relieved. So you'd like to have won that in one visit, but never mind, no damage done.
Judd Trump, 3.
2 4-point snookers needed. And that removes the last vestige of doubt about the outcome of this frame. Trump trailed by a frame in 37-0. Robertson missed the difficult red to middle. Trump potted one which was a bit easier.
15 in the frame. Good Trump.
Made a 64 break, and that didn't leave him much else to do to clinch the frame. It's 1-1.
Here, frame 3. Judd Trump to break.
Between frames, we saw Judd Trump just warming his hands on a cup of coffee or tea, I don't know which. A little bit chilly in the arena.
Yeah, a bit short on the break off there, Judd. So he'll line this one up. Close, not quite. Played it confidently low, was trying to pot it and hold for the black. So he's still attacking the balls, nice and positive.
Played the safety in such a way as to open the bunch, whilst from his point of view hopefully keeping everything safe, or not worth going for anyway.
Yeah, Neil playing the cross double safety here. Maybe a little bit careful. There's the blue to come to his rescue now, I think. Let's just push that red towards the corner. It has done. So both players need to be careful now. There's plenty of protection down that side with the reds and the blue and green, but still got to be a little bit careful. That looks like a loose one. Oh, as the knuckles come to his rescue, yeah. For all the skill involved, you still need that little bit of luck.
What?
Just enough room to get through to that red.
Judd opting.
Trump, 1.
Don't blame him there at all. Could have easily set that green on, but it was risky. There's no need to take chances when you have a guaranteed snooker. The reds are split, so it's not a formality for Neil to get this one safe. At first glance, doesn't appear to be anywhere really where he could drop this white and not leave a pot. So good shot choice there from Judd.
A puff of the cheeks, trying to find a solution.
Yeah, I think he's playing off a few cushions here, trying to land in that red, the red below the pink. Oh, it's not bad. I'm not sure of exactly what he played, but not far off, I don't think. He'll be happy with that. Yeah, he'll be very happy with that.
Well, it's very awkward bridging to attempt to pot the red to the left of the black, and to make it worse, Trump is a left-hander, so that shot is just about ruled out. Would have had to play it with the spider, with the certainty of cannoning the black. Just not worth it.
That's a nice shot from Neil. Looked pretty straightforward, but it was a good line he took there. He knew the pink was blocking off everything down this right hand side of the table, and used the green to cover the left side. So from being in a whole lot of trouble himself, 2 shots later, Judd's in trouble. Yeah, very limited there what he could play. So having not got that white on the cushion, chance for Neil to centre. Not easy, but lots of reward there if it goes in.
No, onto the near jaw.
One. Seven.
So nice chance this for Judd.
8.
Just probably playing this red to the left of the black now, just to completely open the black up into both pockets. And after that bout of safety, the reds have found their way nicely split, so nice scoring chance for Judd now.
13. 14.
'He's just playing into areas there. Ideally, he'd like to be on the red just above the black, but no, if
21.
just run past, he's got red to centre or red to left corner. I didn't intend that cannon though.
22.
So just drop this blue in, leave the red into balk.
$27. 28.
If both reds go below the pink, makes this next positional shot a lot easier. Got a lot more room for error.
$32.
It looks like it just goes, it's tight. Too tight.
32.
That was a mistake
Shot
from
trump.
Judd. It all come about from that little cannon on the red on the side cushion. Finish wrong side of the blue. Once you get down the black end of the tail, you don't really want to be traipsed up and down to balk. So, yeah, be disappointed with that.
Near jaw again for Robertson.
One.
Yeah, that was a let off for Judd. He'd be delighted to be back table so quickly. They're the ones that really hurt when you miss, when you're in amongst the balls.
8.
It's very easy to forget if you don't get punished.
9. $15. 16. 23. 24.
Nicely played. Right side the blue. Just looking for one more red off this blue. Yeah, it's good response from Judd. Neil got off to a good start, but he's just lost his way a little bit. Missed a couple of, not easy balls, but balls he'd expect to get.
30.
Trump's going to be 2-1 up. Went into the lead with a break of 33
35.
in this frame. Robertson missed red to right middle with his reply.
36.
And this effort has taken Trump comfortably to his 2-1 lead.
42. 43.
If you're going to get a kick, that's the time to get it. 76 ahead. Wow. What a shot. He really does make the cue ball dance when he's in the frames one. It's good to
48.
watch.
Judd Trump 48 and the frame.
So Judd Trump dropped the first frame, but now leads Neil Robertson by 2 frames to 1.
Neil Robertson to break.
The last frame before the mid-session interval. Robertson will want to win it to level the match at 2-all.
But just like the previous frame, left this long red and same outcome. Neither player knocking that first red in. It's a shot you see a lot. That first red off the break off. Normally gets such a high percentage of those, but not yet so far today.
One.
Didn't quite middle that one, Neil. That's why he's come up a little bit short on the pink. Just putted it slightly thick, took a bit of pace out of the cue ball. So a choice. Try and find a way between all the colours around the table. He'll drop it in and leave himself a longer red.
Pink spot not available, so it's on the highest available spot, the blue.
Yeah, the red to the left of the pack looks like the obvious one, but obviously being left-handed, you can't get to it without the rest, so... Yeah, a little bit unlucky. They just rolled a little bit too far for that red. If he could have got his hand on the table, he would have potted that,
Robertson,
screwed off the
7.
pack back up for the pink, but far more difficult shot using the rest. Yeah, strange that. Judd didn't like that one. He jumped off it as though he really mishit it, but it looked too bad. Obviously thinner than what he wanted, but not too disastrous. Oh, misjudgment from Neil here. He's going to need a little bit of luck. Hasn't got it, I don't think. Wanted to nestle right into the heart of that pack there, not the top of it. So, a bit worrying for Neil. If you lose shots by his standard.
One.
Judge straight away looking at this black, seeing the best way to go about releasing it, but not possible on this occasion. But we know he likes to get them open as quick as he can. It won't be long, I don't think, till we see him bust them all open.
Seven. Eight.
He's going to need to hit this one well if he decides to come back down to the black end of the table.
Green. Blue ball. Green ball.
Yes, the referee, Colin Humphreys, misheard him the first time that Trump said green.
Couldn't have struck that one any better. It was a lovely shot. It's called a pace out the cue ball.
11.
Perfectly on this red. Now we're looking to get a nice angle of blue or bought colour. I don't think we'll see him hold back this time. I think this will
12.
be into the bunch. See if he can make anything happen. Guards pink and
Brown
black.
ball.
Has he been lucky?
16.
Well, you can see he's on a red, but far from lucky. Black and pink never moved there, surprisingly. He's hoping to not only open the reds, but also free the pink or black.
$70.
So out of position, can't do any more scoring.
Faced with a tricky little shot here though, Judd. There's obviously a red close to the right corner, red close to the left corner, so imperative he gets a good cue ball here.
17. Judd trump.
Not bad, but it's probably about a 7 or 8 out of 10 that.
It looks as if Robertson's bound to cannon other balls. And I think that put extra pressure on that shot. The pot itself wasn't easy, and he didn't have much idea how it was all going to turn out because of the contact on other balls.
Yeah, he's been frozen out a bit, Neil. Good start, 1.5 frames, but ever since that misjudged cannon into the pack, it's all sort of gone a bit wrong for him. So this looks like a piece of cake for Judd here, but what he's thinking about, he doesn't want to pot the black off this next red, because he'd have the problem again of it being covered up on its spot. So ideally, he'd like to play on a colour other than the black here, and then remove that red from the black spot.
One.
Easy enough to get on blue or bought colour.
So probably off this next colour, he'll come down the table and play for that red that's closest to the black spot.
5.
Yep, nicely played. Black's still sitting over the middle, so this is a great chance for
10.
Judd now to take a nice interval lead.
$11. $18.
Back up for blue. Not ideal on that red there. He would like to have got round the black
19.
spot there, but no problem. Right side of the blue. Choice of 2 reds there below the pink.
$24. $25.
You'll need another 2 reds, so might choose to play a cannon, or probably just play on the red. Well, where he's finished now, that looks perfect. You can just flick that red away from the
32.
pink. Yeah, nicely
33.
played. So probably pink. Well, I'm not sure he's looked at the scoreboard there, because I don't think that would have been my choice, playing on this difficult red.
39.
I think he could have quite easily played on either of the red to left or right of the pink. He's caused himself a little problem here. He didn't need to.
Well, the cut along the rail to left corner looks decidedly tricky.
Judd, 39.
So Trump well placed to take a 3-1 lead, but not over the line. Position from the pink, not all it might have been. So he was forced into a safety next shot.
That's a lovely shot from Neil. Nicely played. Good length from the cue ball. May even force Judd into taking this on. As it was frame ball, but no, decided against it. He'll be happy with the outcome. Red gone to side cushion. Yeah, I'll take this one on. The balls aren't situated nice, so let's have a crack at it. Much better from Neil. Missed a few the last couple of frames.
What?
Not a nice table for a clearance, but he'll be happy just to have the opportunity.
Six.
The cannon developed the red to a better position.
Seven.
Just landed a bit too straight there on that pink, so not going to be able to get close to this red. I think it's touching the cushion, so that makes it slightly easier. It's about as good as he could have done there. So, all of a sudden, one good shot
13.
here, a possible clearance.
The red didn't have far
Yeah,
to
Robertson,
go along
13.
the cushion, but it was still a tough shot. And because the red has rebounded into a possible position, it gives Trump a gilt-edged chance to clinch a 3-1 lead.
One.
Just the red was sufficient to leave Robertson needing one snooker. By adding the blue, that effectively puts Robertson out of the game.
Six. Your trump, six.
Yeah, 2 snookers required, so unlikely he won't be behind at the mid-session interval, but colours are not in bad positions. Black's in a nice spot for getting snookers. Well, that one could be the last one.
Would have been all over if Trump had potted that red. So Robertson still hanging in there by his fingertips. It hasn't been a firework display so far, but Trump has made the fewer errors. And that's the main factor that is likely to leave him with a 3-1 lead at the mid-session interval.
Foul.
But
Neil Robertson, 4.
an unexpected twist. Robertson didn't lay a snooker, but he's been presented with his First lot of penalty points.
Yeah, it's amazing this game, isn't it? Neil's made 3 attempts at snookers, left Judd 3 very gettable pots, and all of a sudden he only needs 1 snooker. Crazy.
I don't think that Trump will miss this though. There's barely room round the red.
A little grimace there from Judd. He knows it was a good hit, but could find himself in a lot of trouble next shot. You just don't want this as a player. You know, the frame was over. He's getting ready. About the interval, pleased with his little afternoon's work. All of a sudden, he's got to sweat it out. Oh, Neil, very careless there. Unlike Neil, very rarely makes unforced errors. He's made a few so far today.
We've been going just over an hour. Yeah, 38 the difference, so must get the black off this red to acquire only 1 snooker still.
What?
Just about managed it. So choice here for Neil. I think a nice position to get the white here will be somewhere below the yellow and then just run the white in behind the brown. Land something sort of straightish yellow to bottom left corner would be a lovely angle just to run the white in behind the brown. I think that's what he played, not quite managed it, so change your plan.
8.
White in behind the green, try and get the yellow down near the pink and black. Again, terrible shot.
Neil Robertson.
Most unlike
8.
Neil. And showing out, something else you very rarely see from Neil.
A failure of touch.
Two.
So even if Trump doesn't pot this green, that's 2 snookers needed.
5.
And I think the score of 3-1 to Trump fairly reflects the balance of play.
Judd Trump 5 and the frame.
It's the intermission and Trump is 3-1 up.
Frame 5. Judd Trump to break.
Judd Trump will be absolutely delighted with the scoreline. Of that there can be no doubt whatsoever. Neil Robertson will not be happy with the fact he trails, but also with the fact that his pot success rate is down at 85%. For him, that's very low.
Yes, and it all started so well, Phil, with that first frame that he played, almost carrying on from his previous round. But of course this game is so difficult to play perfect snooker for periods of time. You have to accept that you're going to miss balls occasionally, and you're going to have sessions where you lose them 3-1 in a best of 11, but by no means does that mean the match is anywhere near over
Well, that's why the players love best of 11s, because it gives them latitude, breathing space, the ability to get back into it if they make a sluggish start. I agree with you, though. Robertson's first frame was pretty much watertight. Needs to replicate that going forward.
Foul, a miss. Judd trump 4.
Well, it had to be thin, but of course not as thin as fresh air, which is what he got there. That's a terrific pot. That really is. They're not easy. The way you stand on those, your head position means you don't really see the pocket opening. You know where it is, but you can't use it as a guide to work out the angle. It was a lovely shot. And Judd's always been a, some potter of a ball. He really has, even when he was a kid. And what a brilliant junior player he was. No longer the case. 28 years of age. He's been in the game
6.
seemingly forever.
And although there are a few balls missed early on, over the years these two have had some extraordinary battles in terms of quality. The one that always comes to my mind would be the quarter-final of the Masters in 2016, the last time actually that Trump beat Robertson. Trump made 4 centuries, Robertson had 2.
You know, that record that Neil Robertson of those 103 centuries in the season, I have to say, I thought that might never be beaten, but I'm not so sure now. Wow, what a miss. What a miss that is.
13, Judd trump.
I was going to say the way people score, but this was a miss, which I didn't really see coming. He wasn't doing a great deal with the cue ball either. It was just inexplicable. Not an easy rest shot.
It wasn't, but the amount of balls that Robertson's missing, to me, really surprising, especially in light of the fact he was exemplary in overcoming Luca Brazil in the previous round. We know that things change from day to day, but not quite so markedly. Well, a mildly embarrassing moment for Neil Robertson, followed by a very lucky one. What a fluke. Although he's got no immediate benefit from it in terms of a pot on, the snooker could be very beneficial.
Foul, a miss. Neil Robertson 4.
He just slid past it. I thought he was going to hit it all the way, actually. It's not a difficult shot. Not really. Not by these standards. And actually, missing it on that side is not what he was hoping for. You're going to miss it. Miss it that side, you can stick the red. Even then, it wouldn't be much future in it. It's an annoyance, though. That's 8 points given away, which
Neil Robertson 4.
You never know how this frame will develop as to whether those points will mean anything. He probably thinks it's worth maybe playing it himself, Neil, rather than Putting him into bat again for a third time. Well, that was very unlucky. He was close. I thought he got really near to that, and in the back of his mind it might be that he'd missed a couple already into that pocket. I thought he hit this pretty well. Just hitting the near jaw, they're never going to go in. I think it was worth a gamble playing that when he didn't need to play any shot. Could have put Trump back in.
What a pot that was.
Yeah, absolutely, Phil. He stroked this in at the speed he played it, and he still got the reaction. The cue will never pass the bulk line. Terrific ball striking. I think he chanced his arm there, it's safe to say.
Full.
He does that, and he can do it because he can pot such a good ball from unpromising positions. He's going to have to take another one on here that's not easy at all. Well, that's where he's such a good player. I mean, what a great pot that is. He wouldn't have the cue ball control of Ding Junhui or Ronnie O'Sullivan or the like. But he pots better than those people, believe it or not. He makes a lot of centuries, don't get me wrong, he can play position, but when he's out of position, he can keep a break going miraculously at times.
11.
Well, his scoring is not in doubt when you consider he's only 28 years of age and he's already made more centuries in professional competition than a player of Mark Selby's extraordinary abilities. I think he's something like 15 ahead of Selby at the moment.
16. $17.
Well, he seemed to have a nice angle on that red to play exactly that shot. And he could get things started here. Pink spot this time is free. Will pop
23.
to the left corner. He's got to play a little cannon here. I think that's well played. He made sure he got up the table
24.
and gave himself options of which colour.
When he lost to Jack Jones, a Welshman, in the first round, the qualifying round of the China Open recently, I thought that might be a bad thing for him. I'm not so sure now, because if he were to have an extended run in this event and build his confidence that way, I think then the 3 weeks he would have to prepare for the World Championship might make him a very dangerous opponent going to the Crucible.
Well, it'll only help him
27.
or be a possible blessing in disguise if during those 3 weeks he puts in a lot of work, which I'm not saying he won't. I'm sure he will. Actually, the tournament in China is a very big prize money event, but the World Championship will always be bigger. Anyone knows that. Well, it kicked but didn't stop the shot. Yeah. It made a strange sound, but the ball's reacted fine.
Three kinds of kicks. One where the angle of the object ball is affected. One where the run through or screw back of the cue ball is affected. And one where you hear a terrible noise, but everything about the shot is okay. And that was the latter. An audible as opposed to a obvious kick.
$34.
Yes, if you're in front,
39.
to check on the score. We wondered whether in an earlier frame he hadn't played to the scoreboard when he played on an awkward red rather than a
40.
potentially easier one when the frame was quite like this, actually. Similar scoreline. This time needs one more red. He'll be aware of that. And the lead will be extended, and this is now getting quite serious if you're Neil Robertson.
46.
Not the kind of player you want to let get away. Free scoring.
47.
And especially when Neil started so well today. Hasn't quite continued in that vein.
$53.
Prize money goes up by 15,000 as well, minimum of getting through this round. It's 15,000 they're on, and those many ranking points. Up to 30,000 with more possibly on. It's a big event, this one. 125 grand the winner.
59. $60.
Be nice to see a century here as well. It would be the 17th of the tournament, especially for this charitable reason. The sponsors, Ladbrokes, very kindly are offering
66.
£100 for every century made. That goes to a really good cause, the
67.
Jessie May Children's Hospice at Home charity. So come on, Judd, make another contribution.
$73. Judd Trump, 73 on the frame.
No century, but more than enough after that cracking red from distance for Trump to increase his lead. It's now substantial. He's 2 frames away from the semi-finals at 4-1.
Thank you. Frame 6. Neil Robertson to break.
Welcome back to an absolutely packed venue, Cymru. The crowds here in Llandudno this week have been excellent, not just in terms of their numbers, but also in the way they respect the game and clearly seem to love it. They turn up early, about an hour before the start of play, big queues wending their way right through this venue, and it's created a tremendous atmosphere for what is now one of the best tournaments on the entire circuit.
Great shot.
One.
And the flick on the blue is okay. Yes, we've got some terrific UK-based venues. Snooker now, of course. Never mind the Crucible at Sheffield, but we're up at York at the Barbican for the UK Championship, the Masters, which is always a terrific venue. The Ali Pali, but I think that venue Cymru here in Llandudno, very popular amongst the snooker fraternity, players and spectators alike.
4.
Coming in a few years now. And it's always very well received watching the snooker stars. And this event really does have all the best players.
Yes, large crowds, great venue, a wonderful cast list, playing for significant ranking points and a very prestigious trophy. It does not come any better than that.
A lot of thought going into this shot. He's looking to see whether the pink passes the blue. I think he's also realising that he frees the pink spot here. And would that mean that the pink went safe?
11.
Either way, if the blue is potted, it'll go on the pink spot. So it matters not really.
Blue ball. $60.
But this is another really good chance, putting some serious daylight between
17.
he and Neil Robertson, who's a great rival of his and has been many years now. Friendly rivalry, I'll say, but with the same management team. That's come in probably the worst place on the right side of the table. Just balls with either way. He's got an easy one. Always had the plant as backup. Can't believe the cue ball's gone
24.
back to where it has. That's a bad shot in that regard. Really got into this. It's flown back up to the table. This is tough. Cue ball not exactly on a string.
28.
In the end, something has to give.
When a player stays down on a shot like that, you can tell they're not quite sure whether it's going or not. They normally have that sixth sense, and it showed you just how close the red was. Fractions away from dropping.
One.
Not necessarily now or never, but anytime very soon, Neil Robertson has got to get back to where he was at the start of the match. And that's a good split. Deserves to be on one. Goodness, he's unfortunate there. To keep the break going, I think it's the red up the table.
8.
Big shot this. It goes in, he's back in position. After a report, he missed it by a considerable margin as well.
Neil Robertson, 8.
Robertson's pot success rate now down to 82%. And worse still for him, Trump, it would seem, is growing in confidence all the time.
Yes, he hit that hard to straighten it. It actually wasn't the most natural angle, but the harder you hit it, the more when the red hits the cushion, it straightens. And the bottom red passes the black to his great relief. Well, he needs to polish off frames like this, thinking about not only this match, but should he win. The spectre of Ronnie O'Sullivan looms over. The prolific winner this season, and he knows that he's going to have to take chances like this if he's to win this match and beat O'Sullivan.
13. 14.
But one thing at a time.
$21. $22.
Although Trump leads Robertson 8-7 in total career meetings, he's never beaten him particularly heavily. The widest margin of victory so far was actually a very painful defeat
27.
for Robertson. It was in the final of the Australian Open in 2014. Of
28.
course, being on home soil, that was a tournament that Robertson badly wanted to win. So on the verge here of making it 5-1.
35.
Robertson in real trouble. But hold on a minute.
Good trump. 35.
That was frame ball.
Yeah, that's sloppy, I'm afraid. You cannot afford that on frame ball. It's kind of where that earlier red hit that he played into that same pocket that he stayed down on as well. Whether it costs him the frame or not, it isn't to be recommended missing an easy frame ball. And that was easy. Well, surprised he went for the pot. I guess it did give him a chance to get on a high value colour. But he's left the red on. Any mistakes that Judd Trump is making are just not being punished.
One.
And so Trump 61 in front, 51 on the table.
6.
Robertson needs 3 snookers.
Judd Trump, 6.
Robertson just having a quick look at the scoreboard, thinking, is it worth it? It undoubtedly is, because there's always the possibility of 1 snooker and a free ball. Now here, Robertson showing excellent etiquette. He could have easily conceded there as the red was over the pocket, but not conceding with his opponent at the table.
1.
That's gentlemanly.
Eight. 9. 16. 17.
Well, no applause for that. We've just become so accustomed to Trump's phenomenal cue power.
17, Judd Trump and the frame.
Judd Trump forging on. Neil Robertson getting deeper and deeper into the mire. How about this for a scoreline? Trump leads 5-1. Needs 1 more frame to go through. Judd Trump in total command here at Venue Cymru in this quarter-final of the Ladbrokes Players' Championship. Neil Robertson must be wondering what's occurred. The first frame he played beautifully, lovely 68 break, looked $1 million. Since then, it's been a succession of mistakes. So a possible 5 frames remain.
Judd Trump to break.
Robertson has the harsh reality of having to win all 5 of them. And Neil Foles, sometimes statistics don't tell the full story, but I think this one most certainly does. Neil Robertson's pot success rate now 79%.
Yes, and he started the match almost perfectly in frame 1. Sometimes the stats can be misleading, but I think everything about them sums up the way the match has gone. Judd could do with getting this match over with while he's in this strong position. Had a long lead against John Higgins in the best of 11 in Scottish Open of 2016. I believe he led 5-1 against Higgins, a long way clear, and he ended up losing that match.
And also, let's not forget that he was 5-2 up on Kyren Wilson in the semi-finals of the Masters this season beaten 6-5.
It's just a question, Phil, isn't it, of just while you've got your opponent down, is just finishing the job. Because if he was to win a frame, then things could still get very interesting. At the moment, from what we're seeing, you can only imagine there being one winner.
Foul, a
It
miss.
was a good effort. There was always that red
Judge trump 4.
to the middle which he could have potted. I don't know whether the one at the bottom of the bunch also is a possibility. That was a very difficult snooker escape that he was trying. Yes, and all the great players I've seen are very ruthless when they get an opponent where they want them. They finish the job off. That's what Judd has to just do here. That's a very nice split. Hit the pink full on, the reds
6.
have spread. He's got to play a screw shot here to get up the table onto his next colour though. That's fine.
7.
Does he play on the red in bulk, or is he looking to avoid everything? Come in and out of bulk onto the bunch of reds that are out in open play. That's probably what he's thinking of here. Playing on the single red up the table could lead to eventually breaking down if he doesn't get perfectly on it.
Pink ball.
Pink nominated. He's playing on the loose red. That's fine, he's played it really well actually. Delicate shot.
And he has got great touch, Trump. We've already established he's got power as well.
13.
Quite a combination.
14.
People have been saying that Trump has been struggling this season. I don't think that's
19.
true at all. Sometimes he's had some disappointing results, of course he has, but when you think if he wins this frame, he will be through to
20.
his 5th ranking semi-final of the campaign, and he's 28th in total. He's putting together a really good career. I think it's just frustrating that given his extraordinary abilities, maybe he should be winning a little more.
25.
And that's a compliment.
Oh, that's a
26.
beautiful shot. That's the key shot he's already played now. Bring the black. And that's also very good. It's almost impossible to think of him not being on a red with that delicate
33.
cannon that he played.
34.
I'm sure it was
41.
red he would have been initially wanting to play on. But this has been a good performance, and of course he
42.
played extremely well yesterday against Stephen Maguire, especially in the early stages. There's a little mid-match blip where he didn't play quite to that level, but he finished off with a big break as well.
49.
And I think it's safe to say that he's played a very good match against a
50.
world-class player, and Trump might be on the comeback here. But a tough 2 or 3 months.
Something about Landudno that agrees with him. Won the World Grand Prix here.
56.
Defending champion, of course.
57.
He's a slender individual who's putting up a stout defence.
Yes, and I'm already looking ahead, because to me this match is
63.
Done and dusted now. Ronnie O'Sullivan, Judd Trump.
64.
That is a match not to miss, especially if they're both playing well. And that's what we're faced with here. How exciting is that, Phil?
Well, yesterday I signed off when he beat
70.
Stephen Maguire by saying that Trump's approval rating here in Llandudno
71.
is soaring. Today, it's a Trump landslide.
$78. $79.
And as if he's not got enough skills, he can play right-handed as well.
Yes, and of course he lost frame one. Didn't have a scoring opportunity in that. And to reel off 6 in a row.
86.
A very good performance.
87. $92. $93.
Very good century.
100.
Always nice, I think, to see a player finish convincingly, and he's done so.
Judge from 100. Neil Robertson.
Yes, you have to say, Neil Robertson has been well and truly trumped. Judd, a winner, convincingly by 6 frames to 1.
Congratulations, Judd. 6 frames on the bounce to go through. I mean, you must be really, really pleased with the way you're hitting the balls at the moment.
Yeah, kind of. I think Neil will probably look back at the second frame, and he was in full control then. He looked like he was playing well to me. He was kind of storming around the table, and then he let me off, and I potted a good red to get in. And after that, it just changed completely. From him potting every sort of 50-50 ball, he didn't pot one after that, and I was kind of just cleaning up on his mistakes, apart from the last one where I made a good break. Yeah, we were saying you went the frame down and just sat very quietly in your chair. You know, once Neil gets in amongst the balls, you know, there's not much you can do. And then you were 37 down in that second frame, but to get back in then, it just seemed to be almost the turning point, even though it was quite early on in the match. Yeah, I think even in the best of 11, even the first frame can be a massive turning point in any game. I think it turns so quickly. I think in snooker, one ball is the difference between winning 6-0 and losing 6-1. I think the margins are that fine. And as I was saying to the guys, when you actually start building a break, if you blink, you know, suddenly you've got 40-50 points on the board. It's tough, isn't it, Alan?
Yeah, I said that at the interval. Judd can take the game away from you so quickly, and that's what he did in the end. You know, I think it was 31 minutes, the last 3 frames. You know, blink of an eye, it's gone. Very similar to what you did last night. You know, closing out matches really well, really strong towards the end of the match. Yeah, I felt good. I think I walked back in at 5-1 up, and I lost from 5-1 up in the Masters, so I had that in my head, and I kind of wanted that to be there to know not to give any frame away from then on. I think sometimes when I go 5-1 up, I think, oh, I'll just go for everything. I'm going to win. And there I made sure I potted every single ball, and I think that's important for me not to let anyone back into it, because I've got a habit of sort of giving a few frames away easy. That's a real maturity, isn't it, Joe? And I think, you know, that defeat at the Masters hurt you badly, but I think the great thing is to be able, for you, and I'm sure you'd agree, for Judd to move on from that and to have learned from that disappointment. Yeah, but I think that maturity comes from them scars. You know, you have to go through them in your career. You're never going to go for a career and not have no sort of bad beats. So, yeah, it's not nice to lose in like Masters semi-finals, but if you learn from it and build and don't make them mistakes again in the future, then it's a good learning curve. Well, let's take a look at some of the shots that we've picked out from this performance, Judd. Well, I mean, I thought the key word for me today, for the whole match actually, from Judge, I've seen him play better, but I thought sharpness was the word. I thought you look as sharp as I've ever seen you. In terms of potting.
Yeah, I do feel sharp. I feel good. Sometimes you can go out and play well and not feel good, but at the moment I do feel good, and I've got hopefully the form can come. I think normally when you get this sort of feeling in around the balls, there's normally a good sign of things to come.
You potted a lot of difficult balls, didn't it? Like kind of recovery balls that I thought the whole match today. It's a good, all right, you want a tighter cue ball, but it's a good sign to knock the pressure balls in.
Yeah, I think for me, I kind of, as soon as if I miss one, then I miss quite a few in a row, but as soon as I pot one and sort of get my confidence, then I seem to pot everyone.
Consistency was a wee bit better today, wasn't it? Although maybe the overall, it wasn't fireworks, but consistency-wise, he didn't really miss.
No, I did feel good. I think whenever your opponent starts off well, I think it raises your game normally. And I think with Stephen Maguire yesterday, I started off well and he battled back. He knew he had to not miss, and I think that's what happened for Neil today. I think he started off well and it kind of pushed me to make sure I didn't miss anything.
And it was a nice way to finish off, wouldn't it? Just seen a few shots in the last frame.
Yeah, I feel really good in amongst the balls. I feel like I'm scoring quick, and for me it's important not to be looking at too many different balls. Just get down and play your first instinct.
Ronnie O'Sullivan up next. You know, I know you like playing against Ronnie. I think everybody raises their game when they come up against Ronnie. You're one of the players that can actually really take him on.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, most people collapse against him. So I think the way he's playing, I've been up in Essex for about 8 or 9 years now, and he's different class to what he used to be. I think he literally does not miss a ball now, and he puts you under so much pressure compared to when I first started playing him. You did get a few chances, but I think, obviously, everyone's good in practice, but if I can go out and play like I do in practice, it's coming out in spells. I think in the last frame it come out, but if I can do that from the start tomorrow, I'll have a chance. And you're not afraid to take on some difficult shots as well. You know, I think that comes with the confidence, doesn't it? Yeah, Ronnie doesn't really scare me. I enjoy it more than most of the other players. I think some of the other players kind of see it as a bit of a worry. I think for me, I'm the underdog, and it's my chance to kind of, I know a lot of people will be watching, it's my time to shine, really, and that's how I try and treat it.
We know you like entertaining as well. There was one shot we wanted to show you from today. It was a wee bit Alex Higgins coming in.
Yeah, this is a Joe Perry special, this is.
You didn't get quite as much on it as what I had done. Not bad.
I think Joe would have got both of that out, but...
They were comparing you to Alex Higgins for that one. You know, we talked to Ronnie last night after his match. He was saying that, you know, we went into a sort of exhibition mode almost, but that's the kind of thing we saw from you there.
Yeah, I think it's just good for the crowd, isn't it? I think they enjoy it. Obviously, you want to get the job over and done with, and for me, it's about making snooker exciting.
Yeah, great stuff. Excellent. Well, we will see you in action. It's tomorrow night, your semi-final against Ronnie. So.